Alright, what a disaster of an Apex card this was. Murphy versus Emmett was a banger compared to this, man. 6 total cancelled bouts, including the main event 5 minutes before the walk-ins. I know some of this stuff is out of the fighter's control, but the UFC should have some sort of backup for stuff like this, you know? I feel bad for Blanchfield, but especially bad for Anders Gustafsson, who lost 2 of his opponents for his UFC debut, dude. His opponent also pulled out last minute. His second opponent pulled out last minute. But with all these cancelled bouts, half of the fights weren't even that good in this card. We did have some bangers. But anyway, guys, let's break down the few fights that did happen and go over the picks that I got correct. Starting with the banger between Rayan dos Santos and Elise Ardelian. Elise Ardelian got a nice decision unanimous win here. This was a hella fun fight. Both of these ladies slugged it out. They started fast and swinging hard. Ardelian's power was evident here. She definitely won the first round. She was also the way bigger fighter. Dos Santos was being a little bit too reckless with the strikes. I didn't like that. And Ardelian was landing some nasty combos. Dos Santos did have a better third round. I thought she was gonna get gassed, but she dug deep and it started going off at the end, but it was a little bit too late. But yeah, I got this pick incorrect. This put me at 0-1 for the night. Good win for Alice. But anyway, guys, moving on to the next fight, we got another banger between Michael Aswell versus Balaji Oki. Balaji Oki got a unanimous decision win here. This is a hella fun fight as well. These guys also scrapped it out just like the ladies before. Oki looked great in this fight. He adjusted to being more patient and not to force a finish, you know. He had some great timing in his strikes, but holy shit, dude. Props to Michael Aswell. This guy's tough as nails and he has a chin made of iron. Balaji Oki was landing some clean combos and he couldn't knock out Michael Aswell. But both of these guys put a striking clinic on each other. It was so fun to watch. Michael Aswell was landing some great shots, but kind of slowed down as the fight went on, especially because Oki kept walking him down and constantly pressuring him, you know. Didn't let him wasn't giving him enough space at all. For my original pick, I had Balaji Oki winning, but his opponent pulled out, so I didn't have a prediction for this fight. But anyway, guys, moving on to the next fight, we had Kurt Holloway going up against Jordan Leavitt. Jordan Leavitt got a nice submission anaconda choke win. It was a great comeback for him. It was an easy dub, man. What more can I say? Jordan got a nasty suplex takedown that led to the anaconda choke to put Holloway to sleep. And I don't know, man, this is probably going to be it for Kurt. I think this is his like second UFC run, I think. So we'll see what's next for him. But yeah, I got this picked correct. This is one of the few fights that did not get opponent change, so I did have an original prediction for this. This put me at 1-1. So moving on to the next fight, we got Rafael Filho versus Alan Nascimento. Alan Nascimento got a decision win. It was a boring fight, man. I don't know what else I could say. The first round, Rafael Filho looked amazing. He was controlling Alan Nascimento on the ground, but Alan Nascimento smudged wrestled his way to a victory. Yes, they both had some technical moves throughout the fight, but Alan Nascimento was just too big in there as well. He couldn't let Filho do anything, and he kind of just gave up, especially in that third round. He kind of just let Alan Nascimento do whatever he wanted with him, and Alan Nascimento, man, I guess good comeback win for him, but it was just super annoying watching him so much wrestle Filho with not trying to do anything with the control on the ground. But yeah, I got this pick incorrect. This put me at 1-2. So yeah, guys, moving on to the next fight, we got Zachary Reese versus Dusko Todorovic. This is a decent, fun fight. Both of these guys had their moments. Todorovic's plan was evident from the beginning. Wanted to wrestle. He had some good takedowns and some nice level changes in the first round. And he put Reese in some bad positions, but wasn't able to get much out of those besides some nasty ground and pound at the end of the second round. Reese looked okay. I think some of his confidence was gone after getting KO'd in his last outing, but was landing some heavy shots. And the ones that stood out the most for me were the body strikes. And he withstood Dusko Todorovic's wrestling. Some people might say this is going to be a controversial decision win for Zachary Reese, but honestly, guys, I think it was a 29-28. Dusko Todorovic did win the first round, but I think Zachary Reese won the second and the third. I think one of the judges had it 30-27. I don't agree with that. I think Dusko Todorovic won one round. But I got this pick correct. This put me at 2-2 for the night. Moving on to the next fight, we had a pretty boring fight between Caitlin Vieira and Macy Chazon. Caitlin Vieira pulled a nice decision unanimous win. Again, a common trend in this card. Vieira was just too big in there, and she dominated Macy Chazon on the ground. Macy showed some moments, but nothing too crazy to get a win over Caitlin Vieira, though. Vieira started out good, counter-striking Chazon in the first round, but the second round was just basically all on the ground and controlled by Vieira. She did land some ground and pound, but nothing too crazy. Chase on tried starting the third round fast, but she made a mistake trying to get a takedown, and that put her on her back with Vieira on top, and it stayed like that basically the rest of the third round. Pretty boring fight, to be honest, and good win for Vieira, I guess. This put me at 3-2. We did not too good tonight for picks. Moving on to a banger of a fight though, we got Dustin Jacoby and Bruno Lopez. Dustin Jacoby got a nasty KO win. Jacoby looked great in there. He had Lopez stunned with the straight, and everything went downhill from there. Once Jacoby let go of the clinch, Jacoby landed some strikes, then landed a nasty left to put Lopez to sleep, man. That was super fun to watch. Bruno Lopez got stunned too fast, and Dustin Jacoby was able to take advantage of that, and he got a nice win. I got this pick correct. This put me at 4-2 for the night. But alright guys, moving on to the next fight, we got Billy Ray Joff going up against Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz got a nice guillotine choke that put Billy Goff to sleep. Ramiz definitely needed that win. Dude, Ramiz went straight for a takedown, and he got it with ease, man. And obviously that led to him getting that guillotine choke as they were standing up. Ramiz wasn't about to stand him in with Billy Ray Goff. That was a good, smart plan for him, and a nice emotional win for him as well. Both of these fighters had a different opponent in this card, but both of their opponents canceled, so they just put each other to fight, and they accepted the fight. So I didn't have any prediction for this. So yeah guys, moving on to the, I guess, main event of the evening. We had Matheus Gamrot versus Ludwig Klein. This was also another boring fight. Matheus Gamrot got a unanimous decision win. Klein couldn't get going, man. Gamrot just dominated on the ground, especially that first and second round. And then in that third round, both of these guys were starting to kind of go off on the feet, but Gamrot just went for the takedown and completely smothered him towards the end. Like I said, it was a better third round for Klein, but it just wasn't enough for Gamrot's takedowns and control on the ground. Gamrot showed that there's levels in the UFC ranking, and Klein needs some work all around. But Matheus Gamrot, man, he's a great wrestler and he knows what he's doing in there, but kind of boring to watch, man. Especially after a pretty underwhelming card. I wanted these guys to duke it out, but again, that's probably just my casual fan take. But good performance from Matheus Gamrot. Boring as hell though, but I got this pick incorrect. This put me at 4-3 for the night. But yeah guys, this is all I got for the fights for last night. It was a quick short video. There's not really much to break down, especially with all the canceled bouts and some pretty underwhelming fights. But thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.